noon, or morning, depending on when you're tuning into this. Welcome, everyone. So glad you are here. I am Mike Asherbrander, the proud and humble leader of the Hounds of Business community. And today we have a very special guest, somebody who really quickly won me over because I like realness. I don't know about you out there, but I like realness. All right. This is one of the realest people I have met in a very long time. So I am super excited. Before we roll the intro and get this party started, have to say a big shout out to Mike King. Mike King Biz Radio on ESPN 106.1 FM out there in Richmond. We appreciate you, your partnership. Nobody that I've seen a lot of people push up their community the way you do, my friends. So thank you. Working with you is like PB and J when they put it in the same jar, buddy. So love pushing people up on an international level. Our partnership is great. And all the hounds are falling in right now, folks in Richmond. Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate you. And we're going to get the party started. Let's go. If I can find the buttons, y'all know me by now, right?
Be in a bit of a pickle. Don't you worry about a thing. You ain't alone in this. You're just a success story waiting to happen. Trust me on that. Every bump in the road is just an opportunity wearing a clever disguise. Welcome to the Hounds of Business community, where we don't just sit around twiddling our thumbs. Nope. We turn those obstacles into mighty fine stepping stones. This here's a place where high-level entrepreneurs and sharp professionals gather to grow their businesses and mindsets, kind of like how a good old gumbo needs the right ingredients to be something special. Ideas thrive here, and collaborations? Well, they're as natural as sweet tea on a hot day. Success? It's a journey, and we're fixing to walk that road right beside you. Now, don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn for all the latest tips and insights. We're talking about the kind of wisdom that'll keep you ahead of the game. And while you're at it, head on over to our YouTube channel. We've got ourselves a treasure trove of videos, from expert interviews to webinars, everything you need to stay sharp in this fast-moving world of business. The Hounds of Business community? Well, we ain't just a network, we're a movement. So why not come on and be part of something bigger? Join us today and let's turn your business journey into a real Southern success story. Together, we'll achieve greatness, just like crawfish and singing on a Friday night.
Crawfish and singing on a Friday night. Michelle, you know anything about that? Are you a little country or no?
I love country, but no, crawfish not my thing. I will sing on a Friday night though.
There you go. I couldn't do it either. I lost all my country cred about a year ago. They had about 60 gallons of crawfish in a 20-gallon cooler. I don't know how. It's like a magic trick.
Yeah.
They kept pulling them out. So anyway, welcome to the show, Michelle Ward. Thank you so much. Did we meet by the great Tanya Eberhardt, brand
We
face? Is that
did. We did. Yes.
my gosh, if I had $1 for every time that happened. See, it proves that birds of a feather flock together. Am I wrong?
Love it.
No. And speaking of birds of a feather, we got Royce Blake in the house. Thank you so much, Royce. This guy was born with a radio voice. Oh my goodness. When you hear him talk, you're like, you know what he was born to do. Then we've got Homer. Homer, good to see you, my friend. And Christy, long time no see. Christy Williams is here. And Sakar. Hopefully I said that right, man. Welcome. Appreciate you guys. So let's jump right into it. All right. First of all, tell us how to say your business name and website, because I always mess up easy words. Go ahead.
Okay, it's ELANVITAL coaching. And so ELANVITAL means vital force in French. So the website is actually elanvital-coaching.com.
ELANVITAL-coaching.com. All right. Now, if that's too much, go to Hounds of Business at YouTube. We will repost this and put it on there for you. All right. So let's start from the beginning. That's a good place to go, right? So let's start off with, you were a holistic health coach, right? For women in their 40s and 50s and above. But then you really got to really find your passion and your gift in helping people with self-sabotage. So where did that come from? Give us a little background in your journey of where you are today and why this is so important to you to help women.
Yeah. So thanks for having me on today. I'm really excited to be here and share my story. So yes, like you said, I started off in nutrition and lifestyle through my own journey. Started about 25 years ago, and then I started coaching and was having great success with clients, but noticed some repeat business. And I was like, no, I want to help people, make lifestyle changes that are sustainable and long-term instead of, like that whole yo-yo dieting thing. And And so I started focusing on mindset in about 2016. Well, the mindset was great because you got to know your why. You've got to know why you're wanting to do things. You got to, uh, but then the mindset kind of, uh, it yielded better results, but there was something deeper. I wasn't peeling back the onion very well with my clients and with myself. So I started learning about these limiting beliefs and subconscious beliefs, and noticed in my own life that I wasn't really reaching my own goals and I was kind of stuck and stagnant, and started doing some deep inner work, and then started applying that with my clients, and learned about these subconscious beliefs that are actually programmed between the ages of third trimester, and 7 years old, and then they just get
Wow.
reinforced. Yeah, they just get reinforced
Wow.
by this thing called negativity bias. We start reinforcing what we believe about ourselves and in our environment, from the cues that we take from our environment. And so these subconscious beliefs can come from, what our parents said, what our teachers said, what our religion, what our pastor or priest, whatever, told us, what the government's telling us, what media is telling us. And they're not always our beliefs, right? I
Right.
heard this quote recently, and I thought this is so great, is that we're living in a museum of other people's ideas. And you think about, well, what all's around us, and we kind of absorb the things from our environment. Well, is that really true for us? So, but it started with me and my own, you know, uh, again, being stuck, and taking one step forward, two steps back. So,
I've been there. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So,
let me backtrack a little bitty bit because you said something that stuck out to me, and I'm pretty sure that somebody listening in right now can probably go, "Yeah, me too." So you said you decided to do the deep inner work, right?
mhm,
So m- dive into that a little bit if you don't mind, because in my case, I did the same thing. This whole year has been one massive, terrible, challenging growth journey, right? And to me, that was, and correct me if I'm wrong. You're the expert here. Uh, to me, it was just saying, "Hey, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of making excuses, burying my head in the sand. I really want life to be different. I want to feel different. I want to be different. I want to be my best self." Is that what happened to you? Do you mind sharing that?
oh, I'd love to share it. So it really started in 2019, where it just seemed like things were crumbling around me. I just had this, negative attitude, and, friendships and relationships were just really kind of crumbling. And I was drinking a lot of alcohol, and really knew I had an alcohol problem, but didn't really want to deal with it at that time. We move into 2020, and then it just all kind of imploded, and um, just everything that could have gone wrong was going wrong. My dad passed away in September of 2020, and we didn't have a great relationship growing up, with me growing up. And I had never forgiven him, although he'd already reached a place of just being this loving, awesome man. But I just never would forgive him. And then my marriage was crumbling. My husband surprised me with the news that he was not wanting to be married anymore, and just everything was just crumbling around me. And one day I just kind of, it was one thing after the other without going into all the details. But one day I looked up and I was like, okay, Lord, I know that you got my back here, and I know this is all for my good. I surrender. Help me figure this out. And it was at that moment that I felt this overwhelming sense of peace, and just knowing that, you know, it would all be revealed to me. Well, so then I start looking at the patterns in my own life, noticing that I am the common denominator in all this stuff. The expectations I had of myself, of others, the critical spirit that I had towards others was really a reflection of who I was inside, had nothing to do with the other people. And just the circumstances around me, I was inviting it into my life. So it was at that point that I said, okay, I got, I got to change me, and whatever happens on the other side of this happens. because all I could control was myself, you know?
Yeah, that you first of all, thank you for being so open because you're not it takes a lot of strength and it takes a lot of desire to help others to be this open and this vulnerable and transparent. So I know your heart, you're not saying this, for anything, pity or anything. You're saying this because you want people out there who look like on the outside they have everything together, because we're conditioned that way. We got to have our stuff together, be perfect, say the right things, never show weakness, right? Who's going to trust you with a business deal, blah blah blah. And that is just the biggest pile of hooey I've ever heard, right? So thank you for sharing that because I want people to know you're not here for any other reason that you went through it, right? I've done the same thing. My glass house is so thin you can't throw paper clips at it. I don't judge, but I also want to encourage people that hey, it's you. That I had the same aha moment several times, but the real big ones, hey, dogs bark, cats meow, and people. If something's not okay in my life, it's up for me to fix it. Doesn't mean it's okay, and doesn't mean the other people are right or whatever. Doesn't mean the world's just. It means it's up to me, right? And that whole victim mentality, right? Is that so? Give me a profile. And maybe that's the wrong word. What are some things that when you get clients, because I assumed, correct me if I'm wrong, the folks who come to you, probably have a heavy resistance, right? They're doing this, but they're not too sure about it yet, right? They're afraid maybe it'll leak out, or they're afraid to even face in their internal. But so, what are some things that keep people that they deal with in secret that they ultimately come to you with? Is it
Well,
drinking? Is it
yeah, I mean, a lot of people are suffering in silence and they don't even they're not even really in tune with that. And that's where I was for years. A lot of people will come to me because they just feel stuck. They're just like, I don't know why it is that I can't lose this weight, or I don't know why it is that my relationship keeps on failing. I don't know why it is that I'm heading towards my third divorce. I don't know why it is that I cannot communicate well with my friends, my children, my community, the people around me. And I don't know why it is that I feel so directionless. And a lot of that, that's a lot of what they come to me for. But then we dig down deeper and find out and figure out what is actually driving the behaviors that are that continue to produce the results that they don't want in their lives. And um, a lot of it has to do with what they've been told to believe about themselves. um, so is it that they're too old to make a change? Is it that our entire family has been overweight, so you're going to be overweight? Exercise is hard, or starting a business is hard, or whatever. So there are so many different reasons why people come to me, but a lot of I have 5 different archetypes, and a lot of it is they are a victim of their circumstances. That's one of the number one things. And then secondly, that they are adult, like an adult child, which is sounds like a terrible thing, but it's just that they allow other people to make their decisions for them.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I can be vulnerable on that note in a second, but before I do, I want to give a shout out to Dr. Constance Leland, Level Up Academy. Thank you for joining us. I'm writing in her anthology, or her and Susanna Dawn. They have an anthology. It's amazing. Super excited to do it. And a big shout out again to Mike King Biz Radio. You are tuning in to Mike King Biz Radio, 106.1 FM on ESPN RVA. Thank you to the folks out in Richmond, the folks in the Hounds. Hey, Islam is here. Thank you, my brother. And we are with Michelle Ward. Uh, give them the website again, because you know me, I can't do this fancy stuff. Tell them
Yeah.
the website again.
ELANVITAL coaching. So it's ELANVITAL dash coaching.com.
That's fancy. Elon Vital. See, I just people want to throw stuff at me just to try to say it. I'm so uneloquent, but you are the real deal. So let's go into this because I want to talk about a little bit about your process and like you alluded to, what folks can expect when they go because these are vulnerable people. Probably just the last thing they ever thought about is, hey, I'm going to go talk to someone about all this stuff I've been hiding for 40, 50 years, right?
Yeah.
And I had done that too. you just mentioned it. This is about defining life on your own terms, right? We've all been
Exactly.
programmed from childhood, and for me, and I say this for people to connect and realize, facing your stuff is really the most professional, courageous thing you can do, or in my case, and manly thing, right? Instead of holding it in, drinking, kicking a stray cat on the way home, complaining, dive into it. So, what how do you help somebody? So when you come in and you do one-on-one coaching, do you do, group coaching? Like, and what is the process when somebody wants to talk? Is it just a chat? Like, what can people expect? Because 'Cause they're probably scared. They're probably like, "I don't even
Yeah.
know if I should do this."
Well, I do offer a consultation, just to kind of get to know each other. Everything is completely confidential. I have a very strict rule with that, and you come to me, and it's a no judgment zone because I've been there, done it. I've got all the t-shirts, and so I have a questionnaire that my clients fill out, and it goes pretty deep, like, and it is kind of a no holds barred type questionnaire. I want to find out what happened in childhood. I want to find out what's going on currently, what's actually holding you back, or what is it that you think is holding you back. What is your, what is your what is the problem that you perceived to be your problem. And then what I do is I go through this questionnaire. It takes me several hours to go through it. And I can identify patterns, and I can identify patterns of belief and thinking patterns, that I then say to my clients, this is what I uncovered because your mom might have said this repeatedly throughout your life. It has equated to this. So, or this teacher embarrassed you, and so it equates to, to this.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, simplistic, but it is very involved and very deep. And you said, you have to have courage to come and to do this. It is. It's not. It's courage to face yourself and to look in the mirror and say, I'm going to take responsibility now. I'm not going to let anybody. I'm not going to blame my life on anybody else. And that's where I had to be. Like, totally.
Absolutely. And let me dive into that. And folks in the comments, chime in. I would love to hear your perspective. So first of all, let me address the confidentiality. Man, we live in a world where it really seems to get tougher to trust and fully trust, especially when you're dealing with something so personal and so private, right? Your life, and you're talking about these things. I've done that before. I put my trust in the wrong person when I needed it the most, and that is a very scary thing. And that's essentially why we have the Hounds of Business community, right? We're not perfect, but we want to make sure that we bring people in that have your best interest, right? That people who have been there and done that. And this is why I like you. You are open about your past and the problems you struggle with, so you can relate to people, so they can know you're not some special case of broken that well, I'm beyond help or what. No, that's craziness. But let me shine this in, guys. If you're listening, so you went from all the things that you struggled with, and then what did you do? You decided to do the complete opposite, right? And you decided to do a contest. Tell us about it. Because this proves that you're not just somebody who read a book. This proves that somebody you've been there and done that. You went, wait, 180, complete opposite. Go ahead.
Exactly. Well, so during this process of self-confrontation, for lack of a better word, I also had to face the fact that the alcohol I'd been consuming for the 10 years prior had done a lot of damage to my body, to my liver, my waistline, my brain, and I, in order to give that up, I knew I had to give it up for my relationships and all that stuff. I had to replace it with another addiction, which I ended up replacing it with going to the gym. So I hired a trainer, started working out, started building some muscle, was feeling great, emotionally, physically, mentally, clear. And I hired a trainer. I said, I want you to, and he actually trained people for competitions. I said, I want you to train me or set up a training program, like as if I'm going to do a bikini competition. He's like, okay. So we went through this for a couple of months. He goes, why don't you just sign up for a bikini competition? I was like, I mean, 52. And he's like, doesn't matter. Like, and I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. And that is the kind of person I am. I've always been an out of the box kind of thinker, doer. I was a pioneer in this whole holistic health thing, blah, 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 and everything I've done in my life. And so I said, I'm gonna train for a bikini competition. Told my husband, didn't ask for permission, like I would have done in the past. Like, what do you think about this? And and he supported me 100%. And
Man,
I trained like a crazy person. And I got on that stage with the confidence of, I don't know, a queen, walked out in these 6-inch acrylic heels and did my thing. And, I wanted a medal so bad. Um, and I actually won it. I won a medal, third place, which I was so proud of myself. But before I even got the medal, I told myself, you know what? The journey is the prize. It's not, and getting up
absolutely.
on stage was the prize. The medal was just the icing on the cake. So, and it was one of the best things I ever did for myself. I'm not telling people they need to go, compete on a stage in front of 500 people in a bikini contest, but it was just something that I had to do for myself. It was my coming out party.
And you did, and that's why listen, if someone can go, right? If you and me, 8 years recovering alcoholic, I don't lead with it, but I bring it up because I want other people to know, man, there's nothing wrong with you. You just need to do the work. You need to face it and do the work and go find a guide. That's why I'm bringing you on here, right? Because you need to find somebody who's been there, done that, and is skillful enough to guide you through this journey because it's very challenging. If anybody's done anything like this, and chime in the comments, you understand how much courage it takes, determination. So when you said, "Hey, I'm going to switch the script," and did it come easy? Like getting up early, watching what you
No.
eat. Was it like how horrible was it?
Um, so it's a mindset for sure. And and when and for one of the good and bad things, traits I have is that when I set my mind to something, I'm going to do it. Like, as long as it's set in the right direction, then by golly, I'm going to get it done and nothing's going to get in my way. And so it affected my relationship and like my friendships. They're like, aren't you going to come out with us and go to dinner? I'm like, nope, can't. I got to eat this one,
Mhm.
meal. I take my meals on trips and things like that. Um, my husband wanted to take a couple of trips and I was like, well, I can't because I've got to, be focused on, on working out and all that. But yes, getting up and going to the gym, I literally would spend 3 or 4 hours working out a day or doing some kind of, lifting, walking, cardio, whatever. And it did. I mean, it disrupted my, um, my daily routine and the routines of people around me. But thankfully, I had the support of my friends, my family, my daughters. They were like, "You're doing what?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm getting on a stage." And so that's really important to have people that support you around you too, and it makes it a little bit easier to do the work. But yeah, when you're determined to do something and make a massive change in your life, um, then you'll do it. You know, it's the commitment comes after the decision that you make, and I made the decision, the commitment followed.
Exactly. You just did it anyway. You didn't wake
Mhm.
up and say, "Oh, I'm gonna start waking up early and take a 180." But here's what I heard, and correct me if I'm wrong. It's so much fun that it almost seems like you got positively selfish. So I'm going to take care of me. I'm going to hit a goal. I'm going to learn. I'm going to apply all the things that I've learned. And your family said, "Okay, we'll forego the dinner. We'll not go here." Right? You were willing to sacrifice old habits and people for the promise of being happy inside. Right? Like you wanted to take the reins. That's what I hear you saying. I because I've been there. You
Yeah,
said, "I'm not going to let life happen to me." Right? You're going to go.
exactly. I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
make it happen. Well, and I love what you just said about, the selfishness, because women do look at taking care of themselves as selfish. And I'm stereotyping women and I'm saying it as a general collective statement. But as a rule of thumb, just, I was a stay-at-home mom and everything I did was for my kids, my husband, keeping the house together and making sure everything was running smoothly. That I did forget about me. And if I wanted to go and get a massage, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to do that. That's going to cost family money and,
Yep.
2 hours of my time. but it's like things like that you do for yourself, you're actually doing for other people because you're bettering yourself. It's not selfish. It's actually self-care is actually one of the least selfish things that you can do.
Yep. Let's close on this. We got about 4 minutes because I think with what you just said there, so many can help, can relate to this, right? I've got to take care of everyone first. That my wife, same way, right? And I've got to be more. You just help me. I got to say, hey, we got to take care of mom, right? We got to make sure her cup's full. So don't walk us through it. So someone has the courage, a little bitty morsel of courage to go and reach out to you, right? So folks who might be feeling trapped, they're in a cycle of self-sabotage. Uh, give us some action steps that they can take today to start reclaiming their vitality or elan vital. I think I said it
Elan
right.
Vital,
I,
yes.
there you go. I'm getting there.
I have our French lesson soon. Um, yeah, so a practical step obviously would be to reach out to me and schedule a 30-minute consultation, and we'll talk about really what's eating at you and um, what your desires, what your true desires and passions are. And a lot of people don't even know what those are. So that's part of this process, is helping you to reignite that elan vital, that vital force within you, by uncovering what's keeping you back. So a good practice, which you can start today, is just to start observing your thoughts without judgment. And I know that journaling is so like 2000, but get out a journal and start writing down any recurring negative beliefs, and ask yourself, whose voice is this? Where is this coming from? And is this true? And then challenge those beliefs by finding evidence that supports them, or that disproves them, and taking small actionable steps like that are really important. Setting a small boundary, refusing to pick up a phone call from a friend that that's going to drain you, or a family member or something, refusing to schedule something else on your appointment because you need some me time, or dedicate time to something that you love: gardening, walking, petting your cat if you like cats, playing with the dog. So, progress builds momentum, and a few of these things, no matter how small it is, will lead to greater clarity and empowerment.
See, all the comments coming in, right? Phil Davis, Dr. Constance Leland. Wow, your dedication is self growth, right? The commitment comes after the decision. You, you've got, listen, stop being a victim, telling yourself you can't, believe in all the stuff our monkey minds tell us, because it's not all, most of it's not true, right? Michelle,
No, it's
it's just
programmed truth, and it's not true.
exactly. And here's the fun part. We get to reprogram it, but we need help. We're not programmers, right? We don't, maybe we're new to this, and seek guidance, seek help. That's why I have Michelle Ward here. So Elan Vital dash, right,
Yes.
coach.com. Did I get it
Coaching.com.
right?
Yes.
Say it again.
That's right.
Say it in English so the folks.
ELANVITAL-coaching.com.
You got it. Guys, you could go to Hounds of Business YouTube page. We're on LinkedIn. Michelle Ward is also on LinkedIn. It- she's the most non-pushy, all right, open, caring person I have met in a very long time. So everybody go check out the content, check out the things that she's got going on. A lot of free material on the website. So just take the baby steps. And if you know someone who may be struggling, right, and they're ready, share them. Share her, Michelle, with them. This is all about pushing people up, looking out for one another. So thank you for being that person, Michelle. Gosh, we can't wait to have you back on. We might have you back on next week on the Hounds again. There's like Michelle month. All right. So everyone,
Love it.
Royce, Blake, all you folks, thank you for all you do for us. We got to leave. I hate to do that. But thank you again, Mike King. And listen, if you're out there trying to use your skills in business to make an impact in this world, you know what? That's why we exist. A lot of people want to go out there and make an impact in this world, but they won't. You know why? Because they don't have the resources and support to get started or go next level. That's why we exist. That's what we're all about. And it's Michelle, thank you for being such an amazing, positive force.
Thank
If you're struggling out there, stop it. All right. Today, the time is now. Go do something about it. Reach out to Michelle, reach out to the
you.
Hounds, and we're here for you. So, everybody have a great time. Got to go before they cut me off. And Hey, we'll see you next week. We're going to have another amazing show. Have a great, great weekend.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.